إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم صلاة وسلاما عليك يا سيدي يا سندي يا حبيبي يا طبيبي يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا رحمة للعالمين نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين صدق الله مولانا العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الأمين المكين الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين غوث أعظم بمن بسر سما مدد قبلة دي مدد كعبة إمام مدد قادريا على يا غوث أعظم زنم تمز شيخ أحمد رزا خود بعالم زنم سيدي يا مرشدي شاه مصطفى زندہ باد مسلک سرکار اعلیٰ اعلیٰ حضرت زندہ باد یا الہی مسلک احمد رضا خان زندہ باد حفظ ناموں سے رسالت کا جو ذمہ دار ہے سیدی یا مرشدی شاہ مصطفیٰ خان زندہ باد حامل فیض رضائے مصطفیٰ امداد کن صلی اللہ علیہ النبی امی وآلہ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم صلاۃ و سلام علیک یا سیدی یا سندی یا حبیبی یا طبیبی یا رسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا رحمة للعالمين. All praise is due to Almighty Allah. Durood and salams upon the most perfect, exalted and glorified of Allah's creation, Sayyiduna wa Maulana Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Peace, blessings and salutations upon the Anbiya Karam, Ahl Bayt Athar, Sahaba Karam, Khulafa Rashidin, Tabi'in, Tabi' Tabi'in, Aimma Mujtahideen, Awliya Kamilin, and all those who will follow the path until the last day. We thank Almighty Allah for His infinite mercy and for the wasila of the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam for granting us the opportunity to congregate for Salatul JUMMAH and to prostrate in His most exalted court. Before continuing, let us direct our hearts and our thoughts and our minds towards the holy and the sanctified court of the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and in doing so, let us all collectively recite the Durood Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyina ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم صلوا عليه صلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا سندي يا حبيبي يا طبيبي يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا رحمة للعالمين. Allah Almighty has commanded us in the Holy Quran, a command that I have reminded you about and reminded myself about many, many times, and a command that I recite to you almost every Friday. When Almighty Allah is saying in the Holy Quran, O believers, O you who believe, fear Allah. What a short statement, but the most powerful statement from the Quran. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah. Hey iman walo, Allah se daro. O believers, fear Allah. Wa kunu ma'as sadiqin, and keep the company of the pious. Allah Almighty is commanding us time and over in the Holy Quran. In numerous places in the Holy Quran you will see that Almighty Allah is reminding us, fear Allah, keep the fear of Allah, put within you the fear of Allah. The gist of numerous places in the Holy Quran where we're being reminded about fearing Allah and inculcating taqwa, piety. And piety in reality is khawf khuda. Taqwa in reality is to fear Allah. But if you look around us today, and if you look in your own homes and in your community, and you look at the dunya at large, how many people can you point to and say, this person fears Allah? How often can you and I look in a mirror and say, I fear Allah? As I should. See, one is saying we fear Allah. But do we fear Allah as it is our right in the court of Allah, as it is the haqq of Allah upon us, that we may fear Him? And the response to this will be frightening, even if we ask ourselves. That yes, we will all say, yes, we fear. Nobody's going to say, I don't fear Allah. Everybody says, I fear Allah. Everybody fears in his own way. But is it the fear that there should be? If there was true fear, will a man not wake up for Salatul Fajr? I'm being very simple. If a person truly had the fear of Allah in his heart, and if he knows that after I die, my Rabb will hold me accountable, and I will stand for Hisab in the court of that Rabb who is Rahman and Rahim, and He's also Qahhar and Jabbar. I will stand in His court and answer for my entire deeds. How is it possible that after knowing this, people still won't read their salah? How is it possible that after knowing this, people still disrespect their parents? How is it after knowing this, people still intentionally disobey Allah and Allah's beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when we know the outcome of this? Allah is saying, fear me. Allah is reminding you. Allah is commanding you and I that we should fear Him. But we have reached this level in our lives and this sad stage that we claim and we announce that we fear Allah. But when we look within ourselves, see, you know what they say? Nobody knows what is in your closet better than you. Now it's not, we're thinking it's the closet that is inside your house. No, the closet of the heart. Nobody knows what is in your heart better than you. You claim you fear Allah. I claim I fear Allah. Magar kisi ke haq maar rahe. We're taking the haq of somebody else. Speaking to your mother like you are speaking to some jahil on the street. You can hear the azan going. By the time of salah you are going to do guna. And we still say we fear Allah. What is the reason for this? Why have we become like this? Why have we become so unconscious and so, in inverted commas, fearless? It's because we know that we will have to answer before our Rabb. But we have not been conscious of this reality in our lives. We do not keep it in front of our eyes all the time. Look at the companions of the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One simple example, I'm going to give you one simple example when we're talking about the fear of Allah here. I just started off with this. One simple example. We say Allah is commanding us to fear Him and we say we fear Him. But have you stood and looked within yourself when you're in salah? Have you looked at how people read salah today? When you say you fear Allah, when you stand up and you say Allahu Akbar, at that moment you are standing before your Rabb. What should your condition be? No, my hairstyle is more important. And to set my hair. I want to make sure this is, even in salah. Whereas at that time you are in the court of your Rabb. You are communicating in the court of your Rabb. You are standing as a slave in the court of Allah. How should you stand? People nowadays read namaz like this. Sleeves are up. Buttons are all open. You are standing in front of your Rabb who is judging you. You are in the ibadat of Almighty Allah. You are there to stand as a slave in the court of your Creator. And yet your mind and your heart is in the dunya. How many of us stand in salah? We are guilty, except for those who Allah is protected. Stand in salah and your mind is running in the back that as soon as I finish salah, let me run, the dalgos is waiting. I can't stand for 5 minutes and read salam, I'll miss my lunch. Yes, if you need to get somewhere, you need to get somewhere. But if you have time, instead of standing and making gupshup in the yard, Stand and send salam upon your Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because every breath that you breathe is the sadaqah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everything that you eat is the sadaqah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You're standing, you be able to stand. Yes, Allah has given you all this taqat. But you and I being able to stand on these two legs, this is the sadaqah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Us being able to walk is the sadaqah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know the sad part is, I'm going to divert a bit for you to understand. And to make myself also remember. Have you ever thought about something? I want you to think about something today. I'm thinking. And I want you to think from the depth of your heart. You know, people give each other challenges today. Today there's these foolish shaitani challenges. Somebody challenged on social media something, people want to jump off a building. Somebody challenged, you want to throw something onto somebody. Somebody challenged, they call this a challenge. This is not a challenge. But we need to challenge ourselves. Challenge ourselves, and today I'm giving you a challenge. Challenge yourself and ask your heart, yourself this question. This is a challenge. Ask yourself this question. I ask myself, when last did I sit down and think how much my Nabi loves me? I'm not talking about how much you love Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and how much I. That is a discussion by itself. When last did you sit and think about how much your Nabi loves you? None in the creation loves you and I more than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yet we can't find time when somebody takes 5 minutes more of your time that is spent for the pleasure of Allah, there is a complaint. But when there are hours spent sitting in front of the television box and you forget you have to wake up for Fajr Salah the next morning, then there's no complaint. Your nafs does not complain. Your lower self does not complain. But when it comes to dhikr and the ibadat of Almighty Allah and the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, your lower self starts complaining. Because you know why? The lower self has become lower. How much does our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam love us? Think about it. If you fear Allah, you will think about these things. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam loves us so dearly. Allahu Akbar. Ala HAZRAT Imam Ahl Sunnat Shah Imam Muhammad Raza Khan Fazl Barelvi radiallahu anhu, whose Urs Sarapa Quds is in this month, the Imam of the Ahl Sunnat wal Jama'at. If it was not for him, you would not be standing after Jummah and making Salatul Salam today. You will not be putting flowers on the graves of your parents today. You will not be standing with adab in front of the mazarat of the awliya today. Today you are doing this. This is the barakat of Ala Hazrat Azimul Barakat radiallahu anhu. Ala Hazrat Azimul Barakat, what did he say? Just now you heard Abdul Karim reading, Hafiz Abdul Karim. What he read? Ghamzado ko raza. Ghamzado ko raza, mujda dijiye ke hai. बेकसों का सहारा हमारा नबी. बेकसों का सहारा हमारा नबी. Ala Hazrat Azimul Barakat says, give glad tidings, O Raza, to those grieving in misery. Give glad tidings, O Raza, to those grieving in misery. The hope of the destitute and the lonely is our Nabi. When there's nobody with you, Rasul Pak is there for you. When everybody forgets you, Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam is there for you. When your own wife and your children and your workers and your friends and your family ignore you, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is there for you. More than your mother can ever be merciful upon you, Rasul Pak's rahmat is upon you. Because why? His rahmat is the tajalli of the rahmat of his creator, Allah Almighty. His rahmatul lil alameen. Akai Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let me tell you, while we're discussing, let me tell you how much your Nabi loves you. Let me tell me how much our Nabi loves us. Have we thought about this? How much Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam loves us? No, we are forgetting. If you remembered how much your Nabi loved you, you will never stand behind a Wahhabi in Salah. If you remember how much your Nabi loves you, you will not make somebody like Fuzail your leader. If you know how much your Nabi loves you, you will not run behind Rafiq. If you know how much Allah's Nabi loves you, you will not make your friend those who slander the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sahabi Rasul Hazrat Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma reports that the intercessor of the sinners, Shafiul Mudhnibin, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Allahu Akbar. Listen to what your Nabi says. Listen to what our Nabi says. Hazrat Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma says that the intercessor of the sinners, the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that on the day of reckoning, on the day of Qiyamah, on the day of Hisab, in other words, the day when all of us are going to stand and give Hisab and accountability in the court of our Rabb who created us and who sent us as the Ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. On that day, Rasulullah is saying, Allah's Nabi is saying, on that day, on the day of reckoning, mimbars of gold will be laid out for the Anbiya. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. And today people say they are like you, while you are standing soaking in your sweat and perspiration. On that day, Allah will lay out mimbars of gold for the Anbiya Ikram. Mimbars of gold, pulpits of gold will be laid out on Maidan-e-Mahshar. And our beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, and all the Anbiya will go and sit on that huge mimbar, that huge throne, that huge pulpit that has been built and erected for him by the command of Allah, made from gold. Each Nabi will go. And he says, my mimbar will remain empty. Allahu Akbar. Why? My throne, my mimbar will remain empty on that day. For I will not sit on it, but I will stand humbly and respectfully before my Rabb. When all the Anbiya are sitting on their thrones and on their pulpits of gold, Rasul Pak says, I will be standing at that time, humbly and respectfully and honorably before my Rabb, that out of this fear and concern, that I should not be sent to Jannat and my ummah must be left behind. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Look at how much Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam loves you. Look at how Allah's Nabi loves us. That I do not want to sit there, because from there the next entrance is Jannah. And my Rabb will send me away to Jannah. Meri ummat ki kya? What will happen to my ummat? What will happen to my ummat? Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying, because of that I will stand before my Rabb. I will stand in the court of Allah Almighty, respectfully before my Rabb, out of concern that I should not be sent into paradise while my ummah are left behind me. He says, and then I will say, oh my Rabb, oh my Rabb, my ummah, oh my Rabb, my ummah. This is maqam shafa'at. This is the station of intercession and the grand station of praise. Oh Allah, my ummah. Oh ummah, your Nabi is going to remember you and not forget us there. How much are you remembering your Nabi? Yeah. Oh my ummah, he will say to I will say to my Rabb, and Almighty Allah will say to me, oh Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what are you wishing for? Oh Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what do you wish? What do you want me to do with your ummah? Who is saying this? Rasulullah is telling us what Allah will say. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah is going to say, oh Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what is your wish? What do you want me to do to your ummah? What should I do with them? And Rasul Pak says, I will say, Ya Rabbi, oh my Rabb, let the hisab happen quickly. Allah, Allah. Allah, Allah. Let the hisab, let the accountability be swift. And he says, I will continue to make shafa'at for them. I will continue in this manner to intercede for them until I am given a release note. Until I am given a document to say, for those who were already sent to hell, now take them and put them in Jannah, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then Malik, the gatekeeper of Jahannam, will look at me and he will say, oh Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you did not even leave the slightest sign of Allah's wrath in your ummah. That Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, regarding whom HAZRAT Sayyidina Anas bin Malik radiallahu anh says that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, on the day of Qiyamah I will intercede for more people, more Muslims the number of trees, rocks and pebbles that are on this earth. More than that, our Nabi will make shafa'at. He will not sit on that position at that time until he has not interceded for all of us. Until he has not taken us out from the denizens of hell if we are put in there because of our sins. How much do we love our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How much do we love our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And Allah is giving you good news. Love him. Honor him. Be firm for his love. And then for you there is this good news. Bekaso ka sahara. That on that day when nobody will be there for you, your Nabi will be there for you. Your Nabi will take each of you and put you into Jannatul Firdaus, even if you have fallen into the denizens of hell because of your sin. Keep this in your mind. Fear Allah, you fear Allah. Remain with the pious. But the Imam and the king and the leader of the pious is Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Leave yourself at the feet of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you remain at the feet of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the akhirat you will receive a height that your heart and mind cannot imagine. It's time for us to remember. Challenge yourself in the love of Allah's Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to strengthen that love. That love is going to help you in the qabr. My Imam AALA HAZRAT Azimul Barakat said, he said, lahd mein ishq rukhe shah ka daag leke chale. Lahd mein ishq rukhe shah ka daag leke chale. Andheri raat suni thi chirag leke chale. Take in your heart the spot of the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for your dark grave will be enlightened through that noor of the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is your salvation. That is your salvation. That is the most important thing for you. That ishq of Rasulullah and that obedience to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not associating with these bad mazhabs and these deviants, and not feeling pity for them because they are related to some family or some group. No, the yardstick, the point of measure is ishq Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is to do what Allah and His Rasul commanded. And if you love Allah's Nabi, then you will never even imagine or think or dare to say a single word that hurts any Sahabi of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Impossible. Impossible, no matter who you are. It is impossible. Because today, when we say, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when we say, Ya Rasulullah, we love you, is because we learnt it from Abu Bakr Siddiq. We learnt it from Umar Farooq. We learned it from Uthman Dhun Nurain. We learned it from Ali al-Murtaza. And we learned it from Bilal al-Habshi when he was lying on the burning sands of Arabia. Radiallahu ta'ala anhum. Learn this. Make this part of your life. Yahan bhi kamyab hoge, akhirat mein bhi kamyab hoge. Allah keep us with iman. Let us leave this world with iman. Those who are in our community, Allah grant them shifa kamil, sehat ajil. Special dua for the Muslims of Palestine. Allah protect their lives and their honor. Allah destroy those who are trying to harm the deen of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Make special dua for our Yunus bhai. He's going to be having an eye operation. Allah give him success with his operation, be well. Special dua for Haji Muhammad Shafi Bana, our Bana bhai, who has been very ill. Special dua also for brother Razal, who's not been well. Also Shafi bhai, Shafi Parak, he has been unwell in ICU. Allah grant him shifa kamil. Said Ajil, his nephew Nasser is asking to make dua for them like we did last week. All others that are ill, Allah grant them shifa kamil. Said Ajil, make dua for all those that have passed away. Allah exalt him, especially today I'm making special dua for Haji Ismail Dawood. Famously we used to know him as our Ismail Bhai. He used to work in those days in the shark, for the sharks there in the aquarium. Maulana Umar's father, Ismail Bhai, used to sit here in the front. Until he lived in this area, he never left our masjid. When he moved away, he used to go other Sunni masjid elsewhere because of his distance from where he was staying. He passed away this week. Allah exalt him in Jannatul Firdaus. He was a Pakka Sunni Sahihul Aqidah. Very staunch, fought and stood for Ahl Sunnah wal Jamaat. May his family follow in that way also and be as staunch as he was. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shower rains of mercy upon his grave. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give special mercy in his qabr, and may he be blessed with the shafaat al-kubra of the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Very, very good man, very, very good man. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make his maghfirah, and all those that have passed away in Ahl Sunnah, that those we know of and those we do not know of also, may Allah exalt them in Jannatul Firdaus. Allah keep us with iman, let us leave this world with iman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.